for quantification with the Autodesk Takeoff. Basically, what we have seen here from the Autodesk itself, we have three solutions for the takeoff. The first one is that we have the Revit. So this one has been taught by my colleague previously by doing the schedule. So if you want to see them, you can go to our YouTube channel to get a look on how to do that. And the second one that we can do from the Autodesk is that you can do by using the Navisworks. This one also I have taught them previously. So if you want to see them, you can also go to our YouTube channel. And then for today, we're going to focus on using the cloud solution. We call it Autodesk Takeoff. So Autodesk Takeoff can do also quantification for 2D and 3D. All right, so let's get started from here. So from here, okay, so this is my ACC platform, Autodesk Construction Platform. What I'm going to do first is that how I want to set up at the first place after I have added and created the project. So after I have added those project, I have added those team members. So if I want to use the takeoff, I just have to click on the here. If we see, let me just. All right. If you see on the side here, so I want to ensure that I turn on first the takeoff. So I just have to click takeoff and then for the assign individual. So that will allow you, when I go for refresh here, I can see the takeoff services that I can access from here. So this will allow you turn on the takeoff now, where we can access those services. So after I've done that on the takeoff here, a couple of very basic setting that we want to set up before we can get started with our takeoff is that when we go to packages here, all right, so I have to ensure that I have go for my setting here where I want to ensure I set up for the measurement system and also the classification system. The classification you can also use from here your own. If you want to use your own, you have to first download this one and then edit them. So you cannot upload any kind of the file, any Excel file that you have already have. You have to use this classification sample first, and then edit them from there, and then upload again to this platform. So from here, if I setting up the measurement system to imperial, and then the classification system using the sample here. So if I want to use upload custom, and you can see that you have to download first the template before you can use them. So you have to download the template, edit them, and upload again on this platform. So from there, after I've done setting up these packages, I can go back to the packages here. All right, so before we can create any packages here, I have to have some sheet and model where we can use them for takeoff. So for that one, basically you upload all your sheet and model to the docs environment, and then we can use them for the takeoff. So for uploading that one, I have done that on my other project here. So I'm going to use my existing project here with the uploaded 2D and also 3D model. All right, so from here, okay, so this is the packages here. The packages here for usually what we do is that we create it based on trade division. And you can also create them according to the work here. So for instance, I can have the architecture packages, I can have structural. From here, I can also have for MEP. If you want to create them, just click on it, create, and then type in, and then click on create packages. So this is basically the group or whatever the group that you want to take off the component from the 2D and also 3D after this. So this would be, for instance, I'm going to type in ceilings, create package. Okay, so you just have to go and type. Okay, so if I want to take off the wall, I create the package for the wall and I click on the create. After we have done that, all right, so before we can do the takeoff here, I'm going to go creating the takeoff type. So for that, I'm just going to go for my structure package here. So you see that I have created one takeoff type. What I want to take off from my 2D and also 3D after this, the tiles here. So let's setting out a few of the takeoff type here. Click on the create takeoff type. So you see this takeoff type and then create them. Right. So for instance, this one, I'm going to name this 12 feet of the round column. So over here is what kind of the tool that you want to use for your takeoff. Okay, so inside this, as I mentioned that you can do 2D takeoff and you can also do 3D takeoff. All right, for 2D takeoff, you have the option, these three options. You can choose either you want to do them for the area, right? Or you want to also do them for linear. Okay, we're going to see this one by one. Linear, usually if you have the conduit ductwork, you can do that. Or I want to do that according to the count base. Right, so we're going to also see them after this. The 3D one is this for the beam model here. So it's called beam takeoff here, this one. So this will be the 3D one. Right, so for this 12 round column, I'm going to select them from here, the count base. And then after that, you can change whenever we create those takeoff, how it will be appeared. So I can change them from here. So let's say that this will be circle, and then I can fill up them with the color red, with some border of the red also here. Right. So the primary output here, after we have specified the classification system, okay, I can choose them from here, the types that I want to put them, to classify the group that they will belong. So say that this will belong to the concrete, class in place, structural concrete here, in the output for the count. All right, and then after that, I can also put the secondary output. Let's say that we want to calculate how many concrete pour that we need for all those columns. So I can click on add, and I can specify again this one as concrete here on the top here. And this will output will be the cubic yard. Okay. And also what you see is that I can also put on the formula, any calculation that I want to be included whenever we perform those takeoff. So let's say that from here, I'm going to click on, I'm going to consider the waste for 30% of those columns. So that will be one asterisk. Where's my artist? 1.3 there. And then for this, the concrete pour here, if I put on, okay, so you can see that you can also, whenever you type in those formula, there will be some formula that will be provided, the suggestion here. So for instance, this will be the pi, this, all right, so from here, all right, so this one also, you can see that you can, after that, you can just click on a save here. So I can click on a save from here. All right, so you can see that now I have my takeoff types that have been created here. So let me just create some more here, 15, let door, for instance. So, and then this will be assigned according to the beam. And I can just put in this under the opening here, and I click on the save. So another one that I'm going to create a very quick one also here. So if you have any question, just feel free to drop inside the chat box here. So this one will be under, let's say this, I'm going to name this for conduit with using the linear, and then we're going to use that. And then this will be the electrical, and I'm going to use specified linear here. Save. Right, so I just have this one. So to perform the takeoff here, so we're going to go to our sheet and model here. So I'm going to select this sheet and model, where I can access all the sheet and model that I have uploaded to my docs environment. Okay, and over top here, we can filter them. Either I want to just see the 2D sheet here, right? And then after that, I'm going to open the floor plan here. where I want to take off from this sheet. All right, so this sheet will be appeared, and then you can see that on the top, it mentioned that the scale is not set first, so we have to calibrate the scale. So I have to click on the scale here, and then over here, I have to specify between 2 points to calibrate those drawing. Okay, so I have these measurement, so I specified these two, and then I type in those as 20 with the feet and here, and I click on the calibrate to calibrate them. All right, after we have done that, I can go back to take off type, and then from there I can start taking off. I click on this to take off. Let me just edit this. This should be finishes with the square feet take off type. All right, and then after we have that, we just have to select those takeoff type, whichever that we want to create from here. And then I can go, if let's say I'm going to take off this area. So you just have to go zoom in them and then take off this area. Okay, so you just have to draw inside your 2D sheet. And then after I have done that, either I can double click them or I can just click enter on my keyboard, and this area will be taken off. So you can see that now their value will be appeared, and also on our inventory here, the value will be appeared here. All right, so another one here for taking off just now this conduit. All right, for the linear types. Okay, I'm going to open my MEP sheet now. I think it's belong if I can find them from here. Okay, so I'm going to use one of the sheets here, for instance. All right, so for instance, this one, and then this dartboard here. So I have to specify first the scale here. Okay, but if I don't do the specification, if I just directly from here, if I go to the package type and then select the conduit here, this is the dartboard. Let me just change to that's fine. So you can see that I can just draw them, and then those dimension will also appear here. Okay, so this is for the linear type that allow you to take off the material here. And then it will be the conduit, usually for the conduit here, and I click on enter, and that will be taken off. All right, so that is for the linear. We're going to see for now, another one that I want to show is that for the beam model. So let's say from here, I'm going to create another one takeoff type for the door by using the beam model. I think I have done this. So two beam model, and then they will fill them up with this orange color for the opening. All right, and then I click on the save. And then if I go back to my sheet and model where I can find my beam model, 3D model here. So I go open my 3D model. All right, so for this one also, just have to go in to the opening and then specify which one the types I want to take off. And then after that, I can find them here. So you can see that I can select them either individual here, by in the group here, or I can also from here, if I want to pull them up, okay, I have this model browser. So I can find from here, let's say, type in the door here. Okay, and then that will be only the door will be shown, but if there is no, all right, so this is where I have the door. So I can find them from this door, the one that I want to take off. So let's say this will be the double glass that I want to take off. So I click on that and show all the object, this one only, and then we can select them from here. And then you can see that whenever I selecting them, okay, I can use the control on my keyboard. The value will be input on our takeoff type here. So I'm going to select all of these. And then after that, we can just click take off this 16 that we have selected. Right, so and then they will be filled up with the red color as what I have shown just now. Okay, after we have done that, you can just, after you have complete them, whenever you have complete them, you can just show all objects if you want to go back to the home button. So now I have these two takeoff that I have done. After we have done takeoff from this model browser, you can either choose to import them, or you can also review them in the inventory. So let's say that I click on the inventory to see all the items that we have taken off. Okay, so I just have to click on these three dots and then go to review in inventory. Okay, so the inventory will be the quantification book that whatever that you have ticked off will be appear inside this with the information here. So you can review them if it is correct or not. Okay, so if I click on one by one of these, okay, you can see also over here all the individual types that we have ticked off. So for instance, if I don't have the information here, this might be not correct. So I can also delete them, or you can also find them from the view. So I can click on this to fit to view. So if I go for another one just now for the slab here, I can just click on this and then click on the fit to view to find which one that we have taken off from which area. Right. So you can also choose to reassign this takeoff. So let's say that this is not correct. I just want to go for the ties instead of the steps. I can reassign to the ties here, and then I click on the reassign. All right. After we have complete with the taking off here, for all the here, I can choose to export them. So let's create the export here for all the takeoff information that we have done. And then after that, I can click on open to see them inside. We can have them inside our Excel file. All right, I'm going to close this off. So that's pretty straightforward. And then from here, I can also go to the other three packages here. If I want to take off for the different packages, I can just navigate from here. So I'm going to close this take off package here. All right, so I'm going to go to where we have on the home here, where we can track for all the individual takeoff that we have done. All right, so from here, after we have done that, you can see all the information from the project home. So this allows you to actually update on any recent takeoff that has been done, any packages that you have within your project, so you can easily track them from the home. So just now I mentioned we use from all the sheet and model, we upload them to the docs. you can also upload them individually to here, right? So if I want to do that, I can just go to the sheet and model here, where from here I can upload the new 3D or 2D sheet for using them on the Takeoff. So uploading the sheet on from uploading the sheet to this Takeoff or the build is different compared to what you have done inside your directly uploading to the file. So let's say that from here, we selecting from the dots, the file that we have to the 2D sheet here. So when I go to select, if I want to extract those PDF file to the sheet inside Takeoff here, right? So you can similarly assign to the version. Okay, you choose the file that you have uploaded on the dots, and then I can choose the version, the title of the version here. So let's say just it is a big pages. After that, we go to the sheet number. So if you are familiar with using the sheet here, right? So using the sheet here is basically will be useful for using on the build. It will be using on the build, and then we are also using them on the Takeoff. Okay, so after I've done that, you can see that it will extract all the sheet number automatically. All the sheet number will be extracted. So if there is any duplication, it will show like this. Maybe because the title block that we have inside our sheet here is not as what it can read. So we have to do some configuration and also some addition on that. All right, so for instance, this one, I'm just going to put on as. Okay, so you can also see here on the top where we have 37 sheet number with the error. So for that one, I can see them only with the sheet with the error. I'm going to wait for a couple more sheets being extracted from here. Okay, so if I see the sheet with only the number, you can see that there is a lot of with the same duplication name. What we can do for them is that I can either select them and then I can edit them together by using the rules. I can click on edit with the rules, meaning that after this, I have to click on add character so that they will not be duplicated. So let's say that the character that I want to have is that the suffix 1. Welcome to CW. We are okay. Okay, if there's still with the here, I can either number the sheet sequentially. So this will give you the numbering so that it will not be duplicated. Apply to selected tab. There's still duplication for some of them. We just only now we have only 8 pages with the error. Welcome to CW. We are now at the sheet and also models uploading. So I'm just going to complete this one quickly. Okay. Let me really figure it out. Okay, after I've done that, I can see that now I have no sheet with the number error, so we can just net to the Python here. This is not necessary because you can say that on the top here is not being artistic with the red, so it's not the necessary items. So you can either have them or not, and then after that, I can just publish the sheet where you can use them again for the Takeoff. So just now for creating the takeoff, I'm just going to do a quick summarization on takeoff here. Is that for taking off inside this cloud is that you just have to create the packages, whatever component that you want to take off. For instance, if I want to take off, you can either by the crate or by the work. So let's say this will be, I haven't done the door, but I just click on the create the door packages here. All right, so after that, I can click on that crate. So I can create the takeoff type first before I go for takeoff. So I go click on the takeoff here. So this will be the door. Let's say this is the door, the glass door. And then after that, I can select the tool that we want to specify for the takeoff. For the 2D, we use this. For the area, linear, and also this is the count. And then for the 3D, we're using this. This is the beam. So for instance, this glass door, I'm using the beam. And then you can specify how it appears after we have ticked off. And then after that, I can put them on their classification system. And then the output that we want to see for the information later, either it is whatever here, the count or the linear base or the square feet. All right, and then after that, you can click. So this is model mapping here. The model mapping is that whenever we click one by one them, the door inside our 3D after this, we want to see them showing us a count because we select the count here. If I select the cubic, it will show us a volume. We click on the save that, and after that, if we go to our sheet and model, you can filter them if you want to just see the 3D model. And I can select my 3D model from there. And then after that, you can go back to the takeoff type, select this takeoff type before you do the takeoff. And after that, from here, I can either directly select them from the 3D, or I can also go to the my model browser and then find them from here. So let's say this will be this four. Okay, this double cluster just now. So all double cluster here. So I can select them from here. Okay, and then I can just click on tick off this 34 metric here. So that's will be tick off the 30 for them. And after we have complete with the taking off, you can see them inside the inventory. Where after that, you can also go for the exporting them to the Excel sheet. Okay, I think that's pretty much for today's session. If you have any question, just feel free to drop inside the chat bar. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to go for our YouTube channel, where if let's say that you want to see for the takeoff by using the Naviswork, let me just go to our YouTube channel, to the website here. And then if you browse down a bit down where we can find the YouTube channel here, right? Let's say that we have the 3 takeoff solution provided by the Autodesk. The first one is the Revit, and then you can do them just now for the Revit, and then you can do them on the Naviswork, and then also the Autodesk Takeoff that we have discussed today. For the Revit here, if you want to really see on how my colleague have done on the shadow, is that you can just go to our YouTube channel, and then from there I can find the course here. All right. So my colleague have done this from the calculate course here, the similar workflow for taking off with the Revit. If you want to see the one that we have done for the Naviswork, you can just type in the Naviswork. Okay, so I haven't done that for the quantification in Naviswork. I think that's pretty much for today. If there is no question, I'm going to start for today's session. Thank you everyone for joining us on today's session.